This is Danecase, Danny, a 16 to 8-year-old gelding who has joined us for some retraining before we go about rehoming him. He's already been on the walker for a couple of weeks with us, because what we like to do is when we have our first sessions with them, don't spend too long walking. Now having a trot straight away in the school. From him trotting around, you can see Matt isn't asking any questions of him whatsoever. He's just got him on a nice length of rein, keeping his hands fairly low though and fairly wide, and just let him trot around the school, have a look at a few things. We're not working into any corners, we're not asking for any transitions, we're not asking him to do anything that he's not used to doing, just basically trotting around in whichever way he's comfortable. Once Matt is happy with Danny trotting around, he'll make a change of rein and see how he gets on the other rein with him now. We'll always give them a trot on both reins so that we can get an idea how the horses are moving better, which directions. Do they prefer their left-handed to right-handed? Can we feel anything different in them while we're trotting them around? Are they more comfortable one way? Do they prefer it? And we'll just get that nice feel off them. We want to listen to what they're trying to tell us at this stage, and get an idea as to which way we're going to take the training forward with them. And then what we'll do is we'll allow Danny to have a canter. As you can see, what happens is Matt just runs Danny a little bit quickly more into the trot. We don't kind of ask him to sit back on his hocks and then break into a canter or anything like that. We literally just allow him just to keep trotting a little bit faster, get out of the saddle a little bit and let him canter. Again, he's a racehorse, so we know we're not going to turn him into a dressage horse overnight or anything like that. All we want to do is see if he strikes off on the right leg, how comfortable and balanced he is in the school, and whether or not he's happy cantering round. So after the canter, now Matt's just going to slowly start asking Danny a few little questions and just seeing how he reacts to that. All we basically want to do is just get him to drop his head slightly. He just wants him to just relax a little bit through the neck, lower and drop that head down a little bit, which means that his back will just feel a little bit more comfortable for him. And as you can see, Danny's not sure what he's been asked of him. And the best way to do this that we find is we just take a nice contact, an even contact on both reins, and just carry our hands nicely low and wide, and just allow the horse, just putting some pressure on his mouth just with our fingers and just allowing him to get used to feeling that. And he will throw his head around a little bit and try and back up. The key is, if he backs up and resents you and wants to stop, there's too much pressure. He's got to be allowed to walk forward. So what Matt's doing is just playing a little bit with his fingers, just releasing the pressure as Danny takes it and gives it to him. And this just tells Danny what we want him to do. Just drop the head a little bit. As he drops his head, then Matt will just give him a little bit more on the rein. And they do tend to pick it up quite quickly. We don't mess around doing this. This is one of the first things we do on the first couple of days that we start them. And it's better to give them an idea of what we're asking straight away. Now that Danny's got the idea of what Matt has been asking and he's actually dropping his head for him, Matt is allowing him to have a trot around. What he's doing is he's sitting out of the saddle at the moment and just coming off his back, which just allows Danny to move a little bit more freely underneath him. It's hard work for us as riders. This is the retraining. We want to make it as easy as possible for the horse, and you know, don't expect it to be easy for you as a rider. We are the ones doing all the work at this stage, teaching the horse what we need to learn from us. So Matt will then bring this schooling session to a close with Danecase today. I mean, he's going to be very, very happy with Danny for his first ever session. He's tried really hard. Overall, this whole schooling session with us has probably lasted about 6 to 8 minutes, and that is it. That's all we would ask Danny to do today. Don't overwork the horses on their first times of these sessions. They can't mentally and physically cope with it. Short and sweet, and keep them happy and allow the horses to enjoy these schooling sessions.